I'm gonna need that. Hi. So, if you already know me, what's up? If you don't, you probably still do from this video right here, from the infamous Raven Bat, aka Honeygoth. You may also remember my response video. I just want to make it clear that the last thing that I ever wanted to do was make another video talking about any of these things. I thought that this drama was over once I broke up with Jason, the guy that I was horrifically defending in my last response video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly suggest watching Raven's video and then my response video and then this one, because that's the order in which they were made. And it would just make a lot more sense that way. And I'm going to do my very best to make this video not as long as the last one was. So originally, I was not planning on mentioning anybody in this video except for my abusive ex-boyfriend Jason, but considering Raven will not stop randomly out of nowhere reposting their original video from last year, I figured I may as well just rehash everything right now. And I just want to say this is the last video that I'm going to be making on my YouTube about this situation, period. I am so sick of doing this. I just want my social media to be a safe space. I don't want to have to keep talking about drama on my social media. Nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear about this all the time, you know? So this is the very last time. And if it wasn't for my recent breakup with my abusive ex-boyfriend Jason, who is technically the cause of all of this for the past 7 going on 8 years now, I wouldn't be making this at all, regardless on how much Raven posts about me. And I want to start this video off by saying, even though I know for a solid fact that Raven is never going to give me any basic respect, I know that they are never, ever, ever going to apologize to me for anything, even for the things that they were genuinely in the wrong for. I already know I'm never going to get an apology for those things. However, I do want to say, because I know Raven is going to watch this, I am sorry, Raven. I am very sorry from the bottom of my heart that I defended Jason in any way, shape, or form. And I am very sorry that I interjected myself into a situation that I was not physically present for. I am genuinely sorry about that, and I hope you know that. And whether you accept my apology or not, you don't have to, but I still wanted to give a public apology to Raven specifically. I would have just given this apology in their private DMs, but we have each other blocked on everything, and I just don't think that that would work out very well. I feel like it would have just resulted in an argument, so I figured it was just best to do it here for this situation. So I am very sorry to Raven for, you know, accusing them of lying about certain things. I will say at the time, I really did think that they were lying about a lot of those things, and if you want to know why, you can go watch my original video and figure out why I thought that. But I did also want to make it very clear that I really did not want to defend Jason, me and Raven's ex-boyfriend, to the extent that I did in the first place. The only fucking reason that I defended Jason to the extent that I did is because he was violently abusing me. He physically, financially, verbally, mentally, emotionally abused me in every way that you can possibly think of. It was one of those situations where I was genuinely terrified for my life. He has strangled me, he has kicked me in the head and left shoe prints on my temple. He has given me black eyes, he has crumbled and essentially knocked one of my teeth out in the back of my head right here, which is why I ended up needing to get a dental implant in the first place, if any of you remember me talking about my dental implant. I'm not even going to get into the financial and verbal and emotional abuse and all that, because you can only imagine what he's done. And I know that you don't need proof to actually be abused, and you should never need proof to have somebody believe that you were abused. But regardless, I'm still going to be showing some pictures of my injuries, just so, you know, people don't call me a liar or anything like that, because I really don't want to deal with that. So trigger warning, if you don't want to see any photos of domestic violence injuries, please just look away now. Now, I don't remember the exact date of these injuries because I probably have somewhat permanent brain damage from them, from the head injuries, but this is from when Jason kept punching me in the head. He punched me in the head consistently for about 30 minutes. I remember feeling the blood. It was warm and it was trickling down my head right here, and I said, "Hey, you need to stop. You might accidentally kill me." And he said, "Bitch, I don't give a fuck." And he kept punching me in the head even after he saw this injury. I took this picture after he finally stopped, and I went to the bathroom and I took a quick photo. I took a video too, but I don't know where the video is. But yeah, that's from him. I'm surprised he didn't give me a brain bleed from this. Here's a photo of my right leg. This is from a different altercation. I do want to make it clear, not that it matters, but I never hit him first. I never even defended myself, because if I would try to defend myself, he would just get mad and beat me worse. So I kind of just had to lay there and tell him that I loved him and just let him do what he wanted to do and tell him everything that he wanted to hear so that he would stop and not actually end up killing me. But these were only some of the bruises from my leg that day. I was bruised everywhere that day. And here's a photo of my left leg from that same abuse situation. This is a picture of when he headbutted me, I think. He might have punched me in the head. I can't remember. He did both of those things, but I believe he headbutted me as hard as he could in my head, and that is what resulted. I am also very shocked that I didn't get some sort of brain bleed or something from that, because that hurt more than it looked like it did. God, I look so bad in these, guys. I'm so sorry. But this is, I had to take my septum ring out because he was ripping my piercings out of my face, so that's why that's gone. You can see some scratches right here on my face from where he was scratching at my face trying to get my piercings out, and that is just one of the many black eyes that he has given me. He punched me in the face. This is a different black eye. I was only about 2 to 3 weeks postpartum when he gave me this black eye, meaning I had just had our daughter. I had just given birth to a baby when he did this to me. A photo of the same black eye in question. You can just kind of see how bad it was in this picture. I had to tell a really elaborate lie to everybody because I had to walk around with this black eye with a 3-week-old baby in my arms and explain it away. And yet another black eye photo. This picture was actually not even that old. That is when he kicked me in the head, and that was from his shoe. I literally could not see after he gave me this injury. I had to go out on my back porch, and I had to sit and just collect myself because my vision was blurry. I couldn't see. I still think I might have possibly gotten a concussion from that, but I'm not sure. He would also burn me. This is a burn mark that he put on me from, I believe he was smoking dabs, and this was from the little nectar collector that had gotten hot, and he kind of just burned me with it. Not the first time he burned me, though. I also have a screen recording that one of my friends took of one of his lives on Instagram, and sorry about that. And he literally admits to giving me these injuries, and he even says that he wishes that he would have done worse to me. And he also says a bunch of messed up stuff about our daughter. If you would like to watch that, I will put the Dropbox link in the description of this video. It's 27 minutes long though, so buckle up. But he says that stuff about me and his daughter at the very beginning of the video, so you don't have to watch all of it if you don't want to. So the reason that I showed you guys those photos and the reason that I am bringing this up is because the only reason that I defended Jason to the extent that I did is because I was genuinely scared that he was going to kill me and our daughter. If I did not do everything that that man told me to do, if I did not do everything that he wanted, if I did not do everything that he told me to do, if I did not say exactly what he told me to say to people, and if I did not defend him when he told me to defend him, guess who almost got killed for it? Me. And for all I know, he could have been putting our daughter in danger too. So I felt like I had to do what he said, including defending him against Raven's allegations. So with that being said, I am going to leave my other response video up, even though I kind of want to take it down because I just want you guys to see what abuse can do to you. I want you guys to see what trauma bonds can do to you. I just want you to see the severity of the borderline brain damage that narcissistic and physical abuse and fear in a type of abusive relationship like that can do to you, because it really fucked me up. Like, I will never be the same ever again. I broke up with Jason about 5 months ago, and I have done a lot of healing. I got into another relationship about 3 months later. I'm with someone else now. He is an absolute fucking angel, and I'm healing. I'm doing really well. I'm doing arguably almost better than I ever have been. I'm definitely doing better than I have been since I was in that 7-year-long relationship from hell. I'm in a way better situation now, a way better spot, with a way better person who is actually a real man, and I'm very content with that. And I just wanted to make it clear, like, yes, I did break up with Jason. It's been almost half a year now, and I had to literally go from Kentucky all the way to Illinois, thanks to my friend Hannah. Love you, Hannah. She literally helped save me from that relationship, like, dead ass. There's 2 people who really helped save me from that relationship, and I have to give credit where credit is due, and that is my friend Hannah and my friend Victoria. So I hope you guys understand why I was acting the way that I was acting back then. My words and my actions genuinely were not my own for that entire 7-year relationship, and I was in constant fight or flight mode. I was constantly doing and saying everything that he made me do and say, and I just needed to obey him, as he would say, or I could have been killed. Sometimes I sit there and remember what he's done to me, and I'm surprised that I'm even still here today at all. So hopefully you guys can forgive that part of me, and even if you can't, that's okay, but at least even if you don't forgive, at least now you can hopefully understand why I was doing what I was doing and why I was defending him to the extent that I was, even though I shouldn't have been. And I knew I shouldn't have been, and that's the sad part on my part, but I was scared. I was terrified for my life, and hopefully anybody else who has ever been abused to the extent that I have been will understand where I'm coming from with that. And I am truly sorry about that, but I still hope people can, understand where I was coming from. And I was just trying to save myself and my daughter. And now that I'm not with him anymore, I will never deny that he's abusive. I will never deny that, because you saw what he just put me through. I will never deny that. And I'm sorry that I ever did, but I was just trying to protect myself. But regardless, I am sorry to Raven, and I am sorry in general for everybody. For any domestic abuse survivors, including myself, because I was going through that with him. I do also want to say, though, that I think it's a little bit disappointing that even though I broke up with Jason, and even though Raven and I now have a common enemy, as I like to call it, which is Jason, he is the root of all of Raven and I's problems combined, all of our problems in general with toxic relationships, and our problems with each other, too. But they still are seeming to not understand. And I don't expect them to be my friend. I don't want them to be my friend. I don't expect them to forgive me necessarily. But you'd think that since we both got abused by the same person and understand how evil this person that put us through these things is, that they would be more understanding, and that they would go and start attacking him and attacking the abuser instead of attacking another victim like themselves, which is me. I just truly fail to understand why I am still the main target when Jason is the one who put them through hell and has also put me through hell. And that's why I wanted to apologize to them publicly, where everyone can see it and hear it and know that I'm sorry, because I am sorry for that part. But I do want to touch base on one more thing before I end this video, because this is what's really bothering me. Obviously, after everything that I've hashed out in this video, you guys already know that I do not give a shit what people say about Jason. Drag his ass. I will drag his ass with you. However, I do have some major issues with the fact that Raven continuously keeps sharing the link to their original video. I don't care what they're saying about Jason, and frankly, I don't even really care about the lies that... Sorry, that last one cut me off to tell me that my phone was at 20%. Not sure where I left off, so I'll just continue with this. My only issues with Raven consistently resharing their original video from last year is that it involves lies about me as a mother and lies about my child. Obviously, I don't care what they said about Jason. Drag his ass, he deserves it. I will drag him with you. Any day of the fucking week, I will drag him with you. However, for obvious reasons, I do not appreciate the lies told about me, especially the lies told about me as a mother. And I do not appreciate the fact that Raven went out of their way to get somebody to stalk my private social media pages, because I do not post my daughter publicly on any social media platforms. I keep her private because there are creeps in the world. There are pedophiles out in the world. I do not need them seeing my daughter. That makes me uncomfortable. So the fact that Raven went out of their way to get somebody to stalk my page or stalk my page themselves, I don't know what happened. I do not know how they got this photo of my daughter. But it bothers me extremely badly that Raven thought it was okay to go out of their way to get somebody to stalk my page, save a photo of my daughter without a shirt on her, and then go out of their way to edit an emoji over my daughter's chest as if that makes it any better, and then post it on YouTube. That's disgusting and that's vile. And that is my only issue with Raven continuously sharing around that video. Now, I know I already defended myself against this accusation in the original video, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again real quick. The reason Raven thought that it was justifiable to post that photo of my daughter is because my daughter had still not started walking yet, because she was less than a year old at the time that photo was taken. And there was some crusty red stuff on her walker, on the cloth part of it. And in the photo in Raven's video, you can clearly see that it is crusting off, and it is clearly a red color, like a dark rusty red color. And Raven tried to sit there and say that I was neglecting my daughter and that that was mold on her walker. Clearly that's not the case. If you have ever actually seen mold, mold does not look like that. Mold is either black and spotty, or it is hairy and gray or green or white. You guys know what mold looks like. That stuff on my daughter's walker was not mold. It was dried up spaghetti sauce from earlier that same day. I mean, granted, yes, I probably should have definitely cleaned off the spaghetti sauce immediately after she was done eating the spaghetti. But if you're a mom, you understand why that probably took me a while. It took me all day to get around to that. But that, yes, that was crusty spaghetti sauce on her walker, not mold. And I do still think that it is very fucked up that Raven and a couple other people that I'm not even going to bother mentioning, doesn't even matter, went out of their way to make false CPS reports to my home about me being a neglectful, abusive mother, when they know damn well that's not true. They just don't like me. And if they don't like me, that's fine. But it's not okay to bring a child into a situation, especially a stressful situation like CPS, because that did terrify my daughter when they came to my house. Obviously, I still got to keep custody of my daughter. They did a thorough investigation and found out that all of the accusations against me were not true, obviously. So I got to keep my daughter. I still have custody of my daughter to this day. And don't worry, guys, Jason has no custody of my daughter. He has no rights at all. He did not even sign her birth certificate, so she is safe with me. But yeah, my only issue with Raven continuously posting that video is that my daughter's in it, and they're lying about me as a mom. I am not an abusive mother. I am not a neglectful mother. I do everything I can for my child. In fact, my child was a big chunk of the reason that I had the courage to leave that abusive relationship in the first place, because I needed to keep my daughter safe. So yeah, really all I have to say about that is I really wish Raven would remake that video. They can lie about me if they want. They can talk about their trauma with Jason if they want to. They are very entitled to that. But I just wish that they would remake the video and take the pictures of my daughter out of it. You know, because my daughter has nothing to do with Raven's personal beef with me, or she definitely doesn't have anything to do with Raven's trauma towards Jason, because when Jason was traumatizing Raven, my daughter wasn't even born yet. My daughter has nothing to do with this situation whatsoever. So I really wish that Raven would just remake that video and take my daughter out of it. Even if they want to continue to lie and say that I am an abusive, neglectful mother when I am not, I would still very much prefer it if they didn't post photos of my daughter at all, because that is not their place. And I think it is vile and disgusting that they are repeatedly sharing a video around of my daughter without a shirt on that they took without my permission. There are creeps on the internet, and I don't want them to see my kid, rightfully so. Another thing that has bothered me for a while now that Raven does to me is that they consistently go out of their way to purposely not use my preferred name, and they say it's just because I'm cis. And yes, I am cisgender, but just because I identify with the gender that I was assigned at birth does not mean that I should not have my preferred name respected. Especially because, and the main reason I'm bringing this up is because I have been going by Winter or Winnie for going on 5 years now. Actually, I've been going by Winnie since I was a toddler because my grandpa and my stepdad nicknamed me Winnie because I was Pooh Bear. I was Winnie the Pooh. And I really liked it, and Winnie can be a nickname for winter, and winter's my favorite season, so it just kind of stuck. And there are countless reasons as to why I chose the name that I did, but one of the biggest reasons is that my government name triggers me now. My government name is the name that Jason would scream in my ear when he was beating me. It's the name that he obviously would use for me, and he would never have respected my preferred name regardless. So when I changed it, I was like, okay, so I can distance myself from that identity or my government name. I can also distance myself from the abuse he put me through. My government name triggers me so badly now. I did not just start going by a preferred name because I just didn't like my government name. In fact, I love my government name. I think it's a beautiful name, and there's a really sweet meaning behind it. My parents really put a lot of thought and effort into naming me. But it's not even just hearing my government name that triggers me anymore. Like, that is a dead name to me, and I know Raven and a bunch of other people hate it when I call it a dead name because I'm cis, but that's how I feel about it. I feel like that name is dead. That name gives me PTSD attacks because every time I hear it or even read it, I don't even like seeing anybody else have my name on Facebook or anything because of the triggers that it brings me from my trauma with Jason. Because he would, again, be screaming it in my ear while he was beating me, while he was strangling me. It was awful. And I just feel like, even though I'm cis, my preferred name should still be respected because of how much it triggers me and how bad of a PTSD episode I get when I even so much as see the name. I mean, like, if people are okay with triggering my PTSD, and if they are at least acknowledging and aware of the fact that when they do that to me, especially out of spite, they are purposely putting me through a PTSD episode like that, then fine, I guess do it. But just realize that just because I'm cis, and just because I identify with the gender that I was assigned at birth, does not mean that you are justified in using my government name. And I know that I cannot force Raven, or anybody else for that matter, to respect my preferred name, but I just thought that I would throw that out there. And again, the only thing that really bothers me about Raven consistently sharing around that video is my child being involved. I don't appreciate that. I don't think anybody, especially people with children, I don't see how anybody thinks that that part of their videos is okay in the slightest. At this point, I don't even care if Raven or anybody else lies about me as a person, because the people who truly know me and who have taken the time to get to know me know the kind of person that I really am and know that I'm a kind, good, genuine person, and that the only reason that people even started hating me in the first place is because Jason was forcing me to act how he wanted me to act, which is just like him, because he is a terrible person. Why else do you think nobody hated me to the extent that they do now until I got with Jason, and especially in the duration while I was still in an active relationship with Jason? There's a common denominator to the problem there. That is Jason. I am not trying to avoid accountability. I'm not trying to blame him for too much, because I'm aware that I still have to take some form of accountability for my words and my actions during that time. But I also hope that people understand that I was literally afraid for my life, and that I was getting strangled and kicked in the head and beat up whenever I did not defend him, and whenever I did not say and do whatever he told me to say and do. And I was scared for my daughter at the end of the day as well. I just don't know why Raven thinks it's okay to lie about me as a mother and lie about me as a parent. Because at the end of the day, if they're going to lie about me as a person and about my character, fine. Because like I said, the people who really know me know who I really am, and they know what's up. And I know what's up. So even if nobody else did, whatever. But it's the lies about my child that bother me. And it's the fact that my child was exposed publicly on the internet just because somebody has a problem with me. If you have a problem with me, lie about whatever you need to about me, drag me as much as you need to, but leave my kid alone. She's only 3, and she was only 1 when this stuff was happening. I don't expect anybody to respect me But I do expect people to respect children, not even just my child. If this was happening with anybody else's child, I would be equally as upset as I am with my own child being exposed like this. I feel like anybody who genuinely cares about children as a whole, and anybody who has any basic respect for the innocence of children at all, would not have done what Raven did in that video and exposed my child like that. I just don't think my child should have been mentioned at all. I don't think she should have been involved. Pictures should have absolutely not been posted of my child, considering they had to sneak around to somehow get those, because like I said, I only post those privately. So they had to have snuck around and somehow gotten them. I do not think children should be involved in any type of personal beef. I do not think they should be brought up in any type of situations like this. And I am not trying to shit talk Raven. I want to make that very clear. I am just stating facts. I don't appreciate the stuff with my kid in it. And I feel like if Raven was really a genuine person who had any sort of general basic respect for children or anybody in general, they would remake that video and take the part about my kid away. Or at least take the picture of my kid out of the video. Because like I said, there are creeps on the internet. I don't want them to see that. That's why I don't even post cute selfies of me and my daughter on the internet. Because I don't want creeps to see my daughter. You never know who's going to stumble across that. And I don't appreciate that at all. But in conclusion, that's really all I have to say about it. I promise you guys, this is going to be the very last video that I ever make about this subject. I'm not saying that I won't post something on my story here and there if Raven decides to pop off again and say something about me, because I am going to defend myself. I've tried to be silent. It doesn't work. I was silent for, I can't even tell you how long before they posted that link to that video again yesterday, for seemingly absolutely no reason at all, even though all of that drama has been over and said and done with for almost 2 years now. But this is definitely 100% the last video on my YouTube that I'm going to make about this situation, because like I said at the beginning, I want my social media to be a safe space. I want people to enjoy being here on my social media accounts. I don't want them to think that it is constantly and forever going to be like this, because it's not. I'm ending it right here, right now. I just really felt the need to make another video, because the last video I was still with my abuser. I was still being manipulated into what to say and how to respond by my abuser because of fear. And I wanted to make a new one with who I really am and what I actually wanted my response to be. So Raven, I am very sorry that I called you a liar. I'm very sorry for what Jason put you through. I'm sorry for that. I hope you can understand why I was choosing the route that I was choosing, because it wasn't even really my choice. It was all Jason's choice, and I was just trying to protect myself. And I feel like given the same situation that I was in, many people would have done the same thing. I know I'm going to get a lot of people saying that I should have left sooner, but all I have to say about that is you don't understand how dangerous Jason is. And unless you've been in an abusive relationship to the extent that I have been, you'll never understand. But I know the people who have been in my situation will understand. And even if people don't understand, that's okay. I'm just glad that I finally got the truth out there. So I am very sorry to you, Raven, for the things that I have just apologized for. However, I am not sorry for defending myself, and I'm not sorry for defending my child. I am sorry for defending Jason, because he does not fucking deserve it, and I will drag him with you any day of the week. But I am still going to defend myself and my child. And I think you can understand that I do deserve to do at least that, because my child should have never been involved in this and never brought up in this, and certainly never posted about this in this situation in general. Children should never be involved in people's personal beef situations like this. And I'm sure everybody can agree on at least that.